I got my first Kora in 79, 80. I think, yeah, when I graduated from college, 80. I taught myself a little bits and pieces, but when I got to Africa, that really accelerated my experience. Yeah. We knew about rock and roll, we knew about jazz, we knew about classical, but we didn't have a consciousness of world music, you know? That came in the 90s, you know? Yeah. So when I took it back, I listened to it. It was so different from what the professors and my peers were listening to. I was like, this is so bizarre and so different that I'm going to explore it further. And that led me to buying an LP, a vinyl LP of the Kora. And there were supposed to be some liner notes in the inside, like a little booklet with pictures and more detailed notes. The booklet was missing, but there was an address on the LP jacket of the LP. And I wrote to the record producer, and he put me in touch with some musicians that were traveling from Africa.
News, nonsense, and more.
Let's do this.
Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3, go. Hi, welcome to another episode of News, Nonsense, and More, where we bring people from our community and we hear their stories, their journeys, and everything that we can learn from them. With people's voices around us, stories that kind of fall right in between us, right, and in front of us that we don't know. So our podcast is about giving everybody a voice, everybody a chance to tell them their stories, a digital footprint, so that way we can get inspired or learn or just have fun listening to the podcast. So today I have an interesting guest today who's lives a very long life of fun, it seems, because he's really into music. He has a vast experience in IT, but also in life in general, because there's so many things that people go through that we won't know until we ask. And that's one of the things we're doing here. And I've always met him at the gym. So we just had like small talk. But now, once I invited him to a podcast, I learned that he is really big into music and African music, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah.
So here we have David today on our podcast. So David, thanks for coming on our podcast today.
My pleasure.
Yeah, from the gym, from the LA Fitness to a podcast studio, right?
That's right. From Fort Worth to Dallas.
Fort Worth to Dallas, yeah. And we always obviously have Mike in the back, who is, never on camera. He's always the guy in the back, giving his opinion here and there. So you'll hear him from once in a while. But yeah, David, thanks for coming on. So one of the things I wanted to ask you is, you brought this amazing instrument over here today, so we're probably going to hear you play it,
right?
And if you guys
we'll see this in action in a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
because it is, I'm pretty sure 90% of our viewers will not know what that is,
right?
And
that's called Kora.
Kora, yeah.
So this is the first time I'm seeing it.
Yeah, me too.
Right. I've seen other African instruments when I was in Nigeria. And you've kind of had a similar journey where you've been in Africa too, right? You've lived there and everything. So, but before we get into all that, the audience, if someone asks who David is and what's David's story, how would you tell people?
Well, first off, I'm David Gilden, Gilden, and I came to Texas in 2003.
Oh, yeah, long time ago.
Long time ago, many moons ago. And but we're going to go back a little further.
Oh yeah,
back to Boston. When I was going to Berklee College of Music in Boston.
When was that?
I graduated in 80.
Oof.
So we talk about sort of the beginnings of music technology and MIDI, musical instrument digital interface, and all of that stuff. And this was all happening, and then we get into the 90s. And we start to see traditional recording studios going away.
Okay.
So we have a paradigm shift.
Okay.
But back in the 80s, I was lucky enough to go to the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History, where I heard the Kora.
Okay.
And that started my interest in it. And then I moved from Boston in 86 down to New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And then an opportunity came up where I could travel to the Gambia in West Africa.
Okay.
And that was the first of 10 trips to study the Kora. And we'll get more into the Kora later. But I wanted to talk about technology and then my progression into Texas. So why don't you lead us on with the next?
Yeah, I mean,
bullet point.
one of the things I want to ask is like, so you said Boston to New York City, right? So, what about your early childhood? Like, I want to know, like, what?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I want to know because people want to know because you've probably had experiences growing up that majority of the people listeners don't get to kind of experience.
Well, I think this is an important thing, and I share this with my friends at the gym that have, especially if they have children. Take them to the museums. Take them to a symphony concert. Go out and experience, live music, art, and it enriches everybody's life to have those experiences. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people today don't have the experience of seeing the symphony orchestra play or going to an art gallery. So their life experience is limited by this.
So even with right now you see technology giving access to a lot of these things, you feel like going there in person experiencing.
Oh, yeah. Definitely hearing live people play their instruments and sharing their joy and passion and being in that space. You can't get that from watching your phone.
Yeah.
And then going to the gallery and seeing the Mona Lisa or some big painting that takes up a whole wall, and you have to stand back and walk around it to fully get engaged and really see all of the grandeur and beauty of the painting or a sculpture. How can you walk around a sculpture on a digital device? You have to be in the space and walk around it. And you get to ask your parents or your friends, what do you think about this? How does this make you feel? And it becomes a nice thing. You're walking, you're out.
You kind of like want to ask more about the history of it too, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Because it seems more natural when you're there, I feel.
Definitely more organic experience. And then you see this painting or sculpture, then you walk to the next part of the exhibit, which has been curated to have this nice experience. You don't get that with a digital device. So instead of being involved with your phone or a gaming console, you get out in the real world. In fact, that's what they say. They say go out and touch grass, right?
Yeah.
So that's it.
I believe in him. Like going out and experience that classical musical instruments live is totally different. Because just last week I went to this candlelight concert. They were playing violins, like 4 of them were playing violins.
Right.
And it's so different. I recorded, and when I heard after that, I recorded in my phone. It's so different from the live. It's like totally different.
Right.
When you feel it's so pure, the violins playing in that, the 4 people playing. But when you listen to phone, it's not the same experience.
Look, I went to a concert at Plano over the weekend. You could see the joy and love and just emotion with people playing their instruments.
Yeah.
And you can look around and see everyone who's doing different things. Again, when you listen on the phone or a tablet, you don't see all of that. It's very flattened. It's not the same.
Yeah. So did you like in your early years, like did your parents kind of like motivate you for like art and stuff like that?
That was the real blessing, is that they took me to the Smithsonian. We went to the Air and Space Museum. We went to the Art Museum. We went to different places, and I gained a big view of the world through this. And then we went to concerts, and I got to experience a lot of things that have enriched my life.
And this was back in Boston?
Well, this is back in Maryland. This is when I was
Maryland.
you said child. So
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is when I was,
Okay.
growing up, elementary school, junior high,
Mhm.
that kind of thing,
Wow. That's a long time ago. right?
planted the seeds.
Planting the seeds.
Exactly.
It goes to show like how those little things, matter when you're a child. Like you take, a young infant,
A young mind.
a young mind into a space where there's so many people that in the past that created so much art or music or just in general, like they can excite their brain to ask so many different questions.
It's also technology. You go see early airplanes. You go to the Air and Space Museum and see Gemini capsule or the old rocket ships and
Mhm.
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, the first plane. It's insane, right? How, I mean, for you, like I feel like since I was born in the 80s, 85, I was in Nigeria,
Right.
so I was born there. So I lived there for like about 13, 14 years,
Mhm.
and when I came to the U.S., there were still flip phones. There was like Nextels and all that stuff. Those candy bar phones, and for me, I guess growing up is to see technology change the way it did from the early 2000s to 2025. It just seems like it happened so fast, but you've kind of like had a different experience, right? So I think for you, like technology grew, but would you say it grew at the same pace as what you saw technology growing right now?
I think it's accelerated, but I think it's still in decade chunks of something was introduced, it matured,
Mm-hmm.
then something else came along to piggyback on top of it, and then it kept going.
Keep going. So you feel like it's just like had like decade bursts of like that technology kind of like
Possibly. The World Wide Web,
mm-hmm.
then that led to AI.
Yeah, crazy, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
you would never think like AI, something AI would probably exist. I don't know, even like 10, 15 years ago, and here it is, just being just thrown at us, being a part of our daily lives, and even,
But it's being sold as a solution
Yeah.
for a problem that doesn't exist.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, you probably have more insight on that, but besides that, so you said you went to Berkeley for music,
Right. Berkeley
right?
College of Music in Boston.
in Boston. So
Graduated in 80.
how was that whole experience? So I'm presuming music school. I don't know much about the music degree. Is this like 4-year degree? Just
Well, this is an interesting idea to talk about. So when you go to a computer science school,
yeah.
you're not looking over the shoulder of your peer, your
Mhm.
fellow programmer going, well, that's great code. That's
Mhm.
amazing code. But when you go to the music schools and you hear another young person playing and they're amazing,
Mm-hmm.
that lets you know where you are in your journey as a musician or as an artist.
Mm.
There was just so many great musicians that were, at different levels in their career or their progression as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get that.
Yeah.
That's where college is great. You get to have that shared experience. That's why I was asking, as a technologist, I don't think you get that same kind of thing because the computer coding is very much a cerebral,
Yeah.
internal thing.
Exactly.
But,
I think it's not expressive, if that's what you're trying to say.
but it's still creative.
It's still creative, but it's not expressive.
Exactly.
And it's like, and because it's not expressive, I feel like when you do code or you go into technology, it's very hard to articulate what you're thinking. Sometimes like, oh, I want to do this, but the way you go about getting that solution is completely different. I feel like when it comes to coding, because when you do music, right, you
Mhm.
have a lot of emotion behind it, right?
Right.
So the other person who's listening to you play will probably be like, oh, maybe you should just tweak this a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it'll give that little bit of an emotional oomph, or that, I don't know, like in music terms, like, how some certain tunes are just like so captivating.
Right.
And sometimes other people can just tell you, oh, why don't you do this? And then it just changes the entire dynamic of the instrument of the song that you're playing.
But when you go see a performance and you hear something that sounds impossible, how did 10 Fingers do that? How did this person? How were they able to play this physically?
Mm-hmm.
You can hear it, and it's an internal um, cerebral thing, I guess. But
feeling.
when you see them play it, and you're going, "Wow, this person's fingers move so fast on the on the piano or the guitar, or the rhythms the drummer was playing." You know, it's astounding, that visual plus the sonic experience.
Because I've like, especially pianists, when
Right.
they go really fast.
Right.
To me, it's like, how do you know to go that fast and correctly, and
Well, repetition.
yeah, but
right?
but still, like, it's like you could code repeatedly and you still not get it right. Sometimes, like, sometimes, but when it comes to musicians, it seems like it's like driving a car. It just becomes
automatic.
And that, to me, when I see like a lot of musicians, like, I wanted to play the guitar. I suck at playing music instruments. I wanted to play it, but I never had the motivation to kind of learn it. But I always love listening to it. I always watch people play it.
Well, that's important.
Yeah.
And now we have amazing technology sort of to rehydrate a musical event.
Yeah.
So when you listen to music, instead of hearing it on your phone, you can hear it on a stereo that has all kinds of state-of-the-art technologies. And in fact, Dallas has an audio show that's coming in July. It's the Southwest Audio Show. We're going to put the URL up on the screen. And it's a free event to students. So if there's students watching this podcast, and they want to go see what's music technology like for 2026, they can go to the hotel and see this event for free.
It's for free.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing that it's here in Dallas. This will be the third year of the Southwest Audio Fest.
Nice.
So,
especially for people who are into music, or just
people who love music. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like music, the first thing is to go see a live event, obviously, to really fully take it in. And then if there's something you want to hear again and really, really get deep engagement, the technology is out there. And if you're not aware of it, this is an amazing event that's now in Dallas that we can all go and check out. Yeah,
especially if it's free, you can go.
Well,
check
free
it
for
out.
free for students.
Yeah,
I think it's a
students.
nominal fee for people who actually have the wherewithal.
So what can we discover over there? Like, what type of artists or what type of instruments that they're playing?
Well, it's going to be more about the technology of reproduction, how far we've come, how realistic you can have music in your house.
Okay.
So, you can explore. My Instagram has a couple of pictures of my stereo, and you'll see what you can do. And when you hear it, and it's like so lifelike. It's like when you put the CD on or you play a record or something, it's like the event's recreated, It's great.
Yeah, no, I mean...
And this is an interesting thing. So as you progress through life, we all have songs that get memories attached to it.
Yeah.
And as you get older, you go, I want to listen to a song when I was 18 or when I got my first kiss, as they always say, or when I was back in Nigeria, I used to hear this on the radio all the time.
Yeah.
So I put this song on and I'm back in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So last night I was listening to Beach Boys and it sounded awesome. It was enjoyable.
It takes, you're absolutely right, because like moments that we share, if it's with like an ex-girlfriend, or if it's with a group of friends, or if it's like a drive, from like Long Island,
Right.
Long drives.
Drives, you have all those moments are captured by those music. The music kind of like takes you back down memory lane, and it's
Very much so.
It's very interesting, and it's very like mind opening when like how music can affect a lot of people in so many different ways.
And it's a lot of benefits, calming and soothing and all of that kind of stuff.
So you were talking about the stereo that you have at home. How is it like different from what we hear in our phones? Like live music is totally different, as we have already talked. Like, but what other instruments or like technology we can use to hear like those live voices and come to life music in our own house?
Well, it's such an open-ended topic. I don't even know where to start with that.
Yeah, you can-
That's why the audio show is amazing, because you can go in and go, okay, this is my budget. Let me start with headphones, or I've got, I have a house and I have a room dedicated for music, and now I want a certain level of reproduction.
Yeah.
And
It's
you'll come over to the house, or
yeah,
people
definitely.
will see on the Instagram, and hopefully that'll trigger them to go want to explore and learn more about it. That's what it's all about, is learning about what's available. And you go, I didn't know about this,
Exactly.
Okay.
So
even like I bought a record player, right? The
Right.
music is like totally different when you play it on a record player versus when you listen to it in your phone.
Really?
Like,
100%.
Yeah.
What's the major difference that you feel?
Like
in the-
you don't feel that bass, you feel that all the instrument come more live, and the voices,
Mhm.
like if you're listening to Adele, the voice is coming more live towards you.
So
Really?
so
So that kind of-
realism, an
Yeah.
organic, realistic performance, the bandwidth, the
Okay.
dynamics, how loud, how soft,
Uh-huh.
how high, how low. The best thing is you need to experience it. And I think so many younger people just haven't experienced. They call this 2-channel audio.
Yeah.
So stereo, 2 channels.
Yeah.
So when you hear the newer technology, you'll be amazed what's possible.
So this is the newer technology of what it's like to bring the realism out, as opposed to not listening on your phone
Yeah,
like an
yeah.
MP3 player or like your streaming service.
Instead of having this amount of data
Yeah.
for a musical event, you have a large amount of
Astronomical.
data, and then
It's just different.
It's
It's like you said, you can't put it to words. It's
well,
just,
look, if you've been to a movie and then you go to an IMAX movie and you're trying to tell someone who's never been to an IMAX movie
yeah.
what the difference is,
Yeah, I got that.
you
that
know,
makes
or
sense.
or
Yeah.
you're someone who's growing up eating at fast food and you're going, I'm going to take you to my mom's house and she's going to make you a homemade meal.
Uh-huh.
And you're going, what's the difference?
Yeah.
No, there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
That you can't even describe.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is
exactly.
that. You know what? That is the most simplistic way you could put it. Homemade
Mhm.
meal to fast food. It's not the same.
And the people that are designing this technology, as we in other creative endeavors spend hours and hours to perfect our talents, whether we're a doctor
Mm-hmm.
or computer science or a musician or someone who works on cars, there are people that are designing equipment to reproduce music in its fullest capacity that have spent the hundreds of hours to perfect their skills in electronics or circuit design and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's out there.
It
Take
kind of goes
advantage.
hand in hand, right?
Exactly.
It goes hand in hand because, you have to understand, I guess, the foundations of the instruments and everything else to really recreate something through technology, which again helps the music kind of go even further
Mm-hmm.
at that point in time. But yeah, that's very interesting. And but for a young 1980s, right? So you're a young guy from in Boston College, and you discovered the Kora.
Right. So how did I discover the Kora?
Yeah, how did you discover the Kora? How did you discover the Kora?
Right.
What made you feel like this is your instrument,
All right.
right?
So this
and how did it inspire you to go to West Africa?
all right. So I'm on summer break. I think like my 3rd or 4th year, I'm on summer break at my parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
And on NPR, they make the announcement there's a free concert at the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History. This was like, I think, 1979. So I tell my father, can I borrow the car and drive 60 miles
Okay.
to the museum
Museum.
to hear this concert? Free
Okay.
concert,
Uh-huh.
And he let me do it. I mean, would you let your child drive down the highway? Probably not.
I mean, were you 18 at that point?
Of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
18. I think you have to trust them a little bit.
I was
nowadays.
probably 19.
Okay.
But so I went to the concert
Uh-huh.
and I made a bootleg recording. I had a cassette player, if you remember cassettes.
Oh my God. Okay. Wait. So recording in the sense of like.
I had a little little thing that you're supposed to like speak into, like dictation.
Okay.
That was the quality.
Okay.
And I sat in the back row and I taped the concert.
Okay.
This is the funny thing. It was done on I think it was a Radio Shack cassette player. Radio Shack
Oh my
was a
God.
business
Yeah.
that used to be based here in DFW,
Yeah.
Tandy Corporation,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So basically, I took the tape back to college, and this is 1979, 78, that time period. The concept of world music and awareness of other cultures' music was not there.
Mm.
And we knew about rock and roll, we knew about jazz, we knew
Mm.
about classical, but we didn't have a consciousness of world music,
Mm.
you know? That came in the 90s,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So when I took it back, I listened to it. It was so different from what the professors and my peers were listening to. I was like, this is so bizarre and so different
Mm.
that I'm going to explore it further. And that led me to buying an LP, a vinyl LP of the Kora.
Mm-hmm.
And there were supposed to be some liner notes in the inside, like a little booklet with pictures and more detailed notes. The booklet was missing, but there was an address on the LP jacket of the LP. And I wrote to the record producer,
Mm-hmm.
and he put me in touch with some musicians that were traveling from Africa, and they were bringing instruments to sell.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, for my graduation gift from college, instead of a car or some large amount of money, I wanted to get one of these instruments, and I would learn to play it on my own.
Wow.
This was, again, 1980, I think.
Wow.
And that led me to eventually, 10 years later, going to the Gambia in West Africa to study, living with the family, doing everything they did, going to the mosque,
Uh-huh.
eating their food, following everything they did. And
So
that's my second home there.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's really, really interesting. So Gambia, you go there, you're learning their culture.
Mhm.
Again, this is a time for a lot of people.
This
there's
is
no
1989.
Yeah, no social
No
media,
cell phones.
no cell phones, no social media, no pamphlets. You're going there to experience it raw, right?
Exactly, 100%.
Absolutely raw. You're learning as you are, like staying there, being aware. I'm
Right.
presuming, right?
Yeah, total immersion.
Yeah, it's like you have to be part of the culture in order to
Exactly.
like really experience it, because a lot of people nowadays look through videos and they feel like they're experiencing it, but it's not really the same unless you go there and live there. So how was that experience like in Gambia? Like how long were you there? Like
Right.
were you there for a longer period of time or in like pockets?
Like months at a time. I would go typically what they call low season. So in January, right after Christmas and New Year's, the airline ticket price drops because no one's traveling. So I'd buy my ticket the second week of January, and I would go for 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, depending on my time. And I would do that.
Mm.
And I would bring like a camera or like a Walkman, and I'd document my trip. I would get people to play music for me, and then I'd come back during the summer months, spring and summer, and I would go through my tapes and listen to what I'd recorded and try to transcribe.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would do it again. So basically, in between, I was what they call a street musician. I was playing in. We don't really have street musicians here in DFW.
No, it's mostly in New York and
In New York or West Coast.
yeah.
I'm used to see stuff in the West End here. You'd see someone spray painting picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah. Graffitis and stuff.
graffiti. So I would make a little bit of money. I would play Christmas shows. We had an event in Boston called Cultural Survival, where places, vendors from different parts of the world would show off their things, rugs, candles, all kinds of stuff from all around the world. And I would play there, and then I would wait for the ticket price to drop, and then I would take, maximum of, say, $2,000 plus a plane ticket for maybe $800 and go live with the family for a couple months and have an amazing time.
Wow. What do you think your biggest takeaway from living in Gambia was?
That's a very good question. I've got a very deep connection to the people there. I have a lot of friends that are there. I got to really experience the third world and what it means and how different life is here. And as I progressively traveled, I got to see, the real effects of deforestation, the influx of technology, social media. And now we have WhatsApp.
Yeah, everything.
So, no, it was a great experience. It's hard to put it into word. I got to experience so much. It was very bittersweet. So it was good. There was bad. There was one point where I had money locked in a metal trunk. It was locked in where I was staying. They call it a compound, a group home. The father of the family had traveled. He wasn't there. My metal trunk with my money was locked in this house.
Oh, wow.
So I literally had nothing in my pocket for like a day or two.
Oh.
And I'd like walk around. I know what it's like to have literally nothing and then just, go through that.
Especially when you're in another country as well.
Yeah. And plus I got to experience malaria. Not something I'd recommend, but
No. I did too in Nigeria.
Yeah. And I got to give a shout out. There was a British guy who was also living there, and he's got a whole nother story about Mr. Paul. But he had Fanzadar, which is these tablets. And he said, okay, you take these 3 tablets and drink a lot of water, and this will knock it out, which it did. So, yeah. So I owe Paul.
Paul, like this was the 3 tablets.
Yes, Paul with the 3 tablets of Fanzadar. But I was also taking Larium, which is what they prescribed. You take this every week. But, you have resistant strains of malaria. But, But the main thing was, if you're interested in African drumming, you can't do it here. Go there, live with the family of drummers. You get to see instruments being made. You go to performances like a marriage or a baptism or something. You're constantly doing drumming. When you're practicing, you're playing with other people. It's
Why do you say you cannot get the same experience here or over there? Like, what if like an artist or someone comes by over here?
Let's draw an analogy. Let's say you want to study painting.
Yeah.
You can either take lessons and like every week you meet with your teacher and then you go home and paint, or you can go off to Spain and live with the painter day in, day out. He's like, okay, today we're going to make our colors and we're going to sketch. And then tomorrow we're going to go by the sea and set up our canvas and do this. And then on Thursday, we're going to art opening. We're going to a gallery and drink wine and see stuff. So it's a constant, and we're going to talk about art. So you're
into it.
It's like college.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like
living in the dormitory.
Exactly. You're seeped into that whole like lifestyle.
Right.
It's a lifestyle that kind of like helps you it also stimulates your mind, I guess. As opposed to going to class every like for an hour or so, right?
And you're like, you have your phone. I can't wait for this class to be over. Yeah. As opposed to when you're sitting with other creatives, you're like, have you heard this? Have you checked this out? Have you done this? Have you done that? It's constant.
So that just drills into your brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in a good way.
In a good way.
Yeah.
No, because like you're saying, it's more organic. You always keep saying organic, right? So it is more organic because that's all you do day in and day out, for like weeks or months at a time. You're in that bubble. You're in that like soup,
right.
You're in that soup of like music and people around you.
And it's something you want to do. If we talked about computer programming, the only benefit is a paycheck.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably some nerds that totally get off on writing code or hacking or whatever they want to do. But I don't get that for coding. I mean, it does become a creative pursuit to try to solve a problem, but it's not the same as like I'm mixing an album or I'm doing creative editing on something. I'd rather put my time into that, but unfortunately it doesn't yield the same kind of return in terms of dollars.
Yeah. I think I understand what he is trying to say, but for us coders and like for us in this scientific community, it's like going with a top level scientific person and living his life day in day out,
Yeah, I guess
coding
so.
all the time. But you don't get to do that in the world of technology.
Yeah.
But in music, you have to from his information, you have to like
Immerse yourself.
and be like bonded with other musicians together.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
create something completely
Yeah.
different.
And I don't know if this is the same in biosciences. If people that are working on a cure for cancer or something stumble upon something and they get really excited and, hey, I got to share this with you, and let's collaborate on a scientific discovery or something that leads to a result that could be a treatment or
so basically, like science, technology is kind of like a part of science, right?
I think so.
So
yeah.
it has its limitations
Mhm.
because it's technology is there not to like it's to help make your life easier. I guess it's a tool, right? That's why I say technology, because the fundamentals of anything that has to get better, like if you go back to like what was that thing that could help you count abacus? What do you call it?
What? Abacus?
Abacus, yeah, abacus.
Abacus, yeah.
Oh. So I mean that in that time that was a technology, right? Accounting technology.
Yeah.
That is.
And then you have to. That's the foundational thing of it, right? And next you know, as technology gets better, you have the calculator,
Yeah.
and now you have your cell phone, and now you have AI doing all the things. You don't even need to do remember formulas anymore in like, school.
right.
It's like it's kind of like that. And remember, we also like since you also talked about AI, even creating music.
Mhm.
It's come down to prompts to how to create a certain type of
Yeah.
music.
Yeah, it is.
It's insane. Remember, we saw
Yeah.
that AI
Oh yeah.
application. So, what do you think? Like since like I know you're against AI, so we've had conversations about it, right?
Yeah, very much so.
But what do you think the impact of using AI to create music? Like, what do you think that will do to like future
Okay.
artists and stuff like that?
It will dumb it down. It'll totally. I probably can't swear, right?
You can if you
You
want.
can.
No,
you
well,
can,
it'll
yeah.
beep it up. It will the F word.
Okay.
The F word. It will totally F it up. Because as somebody who enjoys music, and I'll get in more into this, but like if I want to eat something, do I want to push a couple buttons and have something come out, drop out like you see in like Lost in Space or a sci-fi movie, or do I want to have a person cut the onions up and then saute it and then put some olive oil in it and then serve it? I go for that over I push a few buttons and something that looks like what I envision I want to eat comes out,
You need a TLC, the extra tender loving care when you're cooking the food.
Oh, yeah. Or again, the organic, the human touch. If I say I want to hear something that is passionate and fiery, what came from a person who interpreted that, that's what I want. I don't want to have. But if it's good, it's good, right? So if someone says, "Yeah, I did this all with prompts," doesn't sound amazing. And then, the singing is also AI. But like, that's a challenge. I think I'd still want to hear a real person.
I think
sing.
I think what with AI, what I feel like is it'll just make it very bland. It'll make it very consistently boring. That's what I feel like, because it doesn't have that, like you said, okay, the same song, right?
Right.
Let's say, for example, Ozzy Osbourne. He has a song. He sings it his own way, right? And then you have someone 20 years from now who listens to Ozzy Osbourne and sings it in his own rendition. Right? He does a cover for the same song, but he adds a couple of things to it. It is the same song,
Right.
but it just sounds completely different. It can sound nicer. And that sometimes, like when I listen to like older songs on YouTube, and I one of the things I do is I always listen to original. The original will feel kind of old. Okay, this is when I was really young. The type of instrument they use or the way they were doing the music was different, right?
Right.
But then like I do like covers of like that same song.
Right.
And then they take the same song and they mix it and they change up and it sounds so much more like it sounds more like my vibe. You know what I mean? Like if, for example, I wouldn't listen to a song from the 60s or 70s, like when my parents were growing up, right?
Why?
Just because, like, I don't know, maybe it's just not it didn't feel my vibe. Let's just put it that way, right? But as I got older, and this is when I'm talking about when I was younger, I wouldn't have listened to it. But as I get older, I'm like, oh, okay, I appreciate the older music, but then the technology limitations kind of doesn't let the music kind of sound that good, on recordings, right? Or if you go on YouTube and stuff. But then someone will then take that old song, do their own style of composing the music or changing the lyrics left and right, or maybe if he's pulling his voice, in the original he's pulling his voice, but in the other one he's kind of like, he's singing in a lower volume. It changes the dynamic of the same song. So the same song itself can sound so different, and it can inspire so many different people. That's what I think music is when you do it. As a human being, as opposed to like AI. It's going to, like, it has limited knowledge, right? It can't really think.
It can't create something new. It
Yeah,
can only play back what's in the data model.
Exactly.
But you need to go back and discover the music your parents were happy about or were passionate about. I mean, that part of my upbringing was I listened to music that my mom and dad liked to listen to, and I'm still listening to some of that stuff.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe when I was younger, I wasn't that enthusiastic about it, but now it's like, oh, that stuff was cool. I still listen to it now, and I'll tell my father, do you remember this song? This was a song you used to play back in the day. So, and I'm listening to it now.
It's like time kind of like teaches you, like, oh, this is the foundational aspect of music. Hey, this is where it started, or this is like how it used to sound.
Oh, your parents were once young too.
Yes,
So
that's true.
Right. So what was interesting to them now should be interesting to your children or the next generation.
But it's so funny. Like when we talk with the younger generation, I have nephews and nieces, and they listen to my music. And again, I like kind of those EDM, the electric music, those DJs and stuff like that. So that was like my 20s. So that's where I had the most fun, and that's where I also had the most memories made because of those music. Now, when I play that songs in my car and they're listening to it, they'll be like, "What is this? What generation is this from?"
They're just trying to get you, man.
No, but no. I'm talking about even the guys, like for example, he likes EDM music, right? Nirman, like one of the guys I know, he likes EDM music. But I went to a concert recently. It's Above and Beyond. They're this British group. They're one of my favorite bands. I saw them like in the 2010, 11. I saw them in Randall's Island in a concert. They were there. There were like so many big names. This is when like the electric music, dance music was like coming on up, that genre. And once I discovered them, I was like, they're my favorite EDM artist of all time. And now when I played for the guys who are in their 20s and you hear that, they're like, ugh, what kind of song is this? It's so like it's so old, like it sounds so old. And it's now I'm in that phase, like, oh no, it's not old. What are you talking about? It's so nice. It's still so good, but
sometimes old is good. Look at the cost of old wines.
That is good. That's true.
So, like, have you gone to any of the music raves or like Bonnaroo, Coachella?
No, I'm not anymore. I used to go when I was in New York. It was electric. It was called the Electric Zoo Festival.
All right.
So they had a lot of like artists. I got to see Tiesto, David Guetta when they were like very famous.
Right.
At that point in time when they're coming up, not many mainstream artists like would collab with them at that point in time. But once EDM started going up, then you had like at that time Rihanna, or if it was Beyonce, Jay-Z, they started getting into it because my childhood was more about alternative rock. It was Linkin Park.
Okay,
so Linkin Park was a huge part of me growing up because their music, and it was different. It wasn't like completely rock. And I remember when my brother was growing up, I used to listen to a lot of the old school rock. I used to listen to what do you call Ozzy Osbourne. You know, he was still kind of
Metal.
up.
Metal music, yeah.
Led Zeppelin.
Led
Led
yeah,
Zeppelin, yeah.
exactly. Brian Adams. You know, that's what he was growing up with, and their songs are still really, really good. And now sometimes on TikTok, I'll when I'm scrolling, they'll have like those old songs from like the 70s and 80s. And I'm like, wow, this actually sounds really, really good. The lyrics, because I feel like even as artists back in the day, the lyrics, the amount of time it goes to like when they're expressing themselves with the words is so different than it is right now. Because when I listen to the lyrics that like the musicians are making nowadays, it doesn't sound creative. It sounds very repetitive.
Well, I think what happens is that somebody has success, and then there's copycats. They go, "Wow, this person sang about, my first girlfriend, and then drinking beer and driving fast cars. And they made a lot of money. I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to make a lot of money." It doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that. But it's so mainstream to the point where that it kind of takes over. Like I feel, and it takes away like actual artists who are like I feel like are creating something new or different.
You have to find your own voice and go with it. Tame Impala is a good example. If you haven't heard of Tame Impala,
if you could like elaborate on that. So
it's what they call lo-fi. It's indie rock. It's lo-fi. There's some psychedelic stuff. It's the only reason I know about it. I read about it in a magazine called Tape Op. So if you're a music producer and you're into recording, do-it-yourself kind of stuff, and you want to learn more about that, get yourself a free subscription. TAPEOP, Tape Op magazine, tapeop.com. I think we should hear a little Kora.
Yeah. So
we'll talk a little bit more about going forward.
Want to know about this instrument? So talk us about this instrument first before you play. Like so
this is the reason I went to Africa. So I heard this at the Smithsonian in 79. And I found a recording of it in a record store called Briggs and Briggs in Boston, Massachusetts. Actually, it was in Cambridge, in Harvard Square. And that led me to getting my first Kora. And then that led me to traveling to the Gambia. So this instrument comes from the Gambia.
Okay.
It's got a giant calabash gourd that we have covered with cowskin.
Okay, that's cowskin. Yeah, I was going to ask that.
And we have 21 strings, fishing line.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I play with the thumb and the forefinger. So let's play a little music, and then we'll get back into the Texas thing.
So why don't you play your favorite tune, the one you always find yourself playing?
See, whatever I'm playing right now, it's just flowing out of me.
Yeah.
There's no prompts. There's no preconceived.
Yeah.
So I don't know how AI would ever do that.
No, I don't know.
It's just like
I don't even think AI knows how to recreate a Kora.
I don't think so.
If you feed it enough data, it can.
But imagine if you had this kind of just free flowing with computer code.
Yeah.
Where you could just sit down and start writing stuff. I mean, how sick would that be?
Yeah.
That's the sound of the Kora.
That is something I have not heard. Like I thought the guitar would be one thing, but this is completely different. It's it's like an African guitar technically.
Exactly. Roots of the blues is what they like to talk about. It's the grandfather of the banjo. And a real real quick plug. I do have my music on CDs, and we're going to link to my music video
In the description.
in my Instagram and all of that stuff. But let's keep talking because we talked a little bit about my upbringing. We want to get back to Texas. So I want to talk to you about how I got into IT. So used to play a lot of arts festivals, and I did the street music thing in Harvard Square back in the 80s. And
you did the street music thing with the Kora.
yeah, I mean,
Did people ask you, like, what is that?
of course, I had a little thing. I'd talk about it. I'd play a few examples, and then I'd pass the hat kind of thing. So what happened is that I got out of college, and I was a multi-keyboard player. I mean, I had like an electric piano, and I had a synthesizer, and a this and a that. And I would play in the hotels. I would do 4 or 5 nights a week, and black slacks, black sparkly shirt, thin tie, and I'd be playing like Kool and the Gang, disco music, and then we would do a show like the Blues Brothers. We'd play songs from the Blues Brothers. Or after a while of that, I got really tired. The same songs, the same thing every night, different hotels, same music. And then I got into this, and one of the times I would play with a drummer, congas, right? And then this one drummer was a C++ programmer. And right when the web publishing was starting to take off around, I think, 98, he's like, come work for me because, as you get older, you won't really be able to survive just playing the Kora or just being a musician. And that led me into web publishing, web design in like 98, 99. How we can put an exact time to this? This is when the Macintosh 6100 was the computer, was the hotness.
The it computer.
Yeah. So, and I was an Apple fanboy for a while. I was, yeah.
Okay.
Still am, but then moved to Texas. When I'll leave a bunch of stuff out. Then I moved to Texas in 2003, and my skills had become really out of date because we had the .com implosion at year 2000, right?
Yeah.
So job market totally collapsed. So I found myself in Texas, and through the Yahoo Yellow Pages, we have another Paul. I found a friend and colleague who was a electronics engineer. I think he was an IEEE, we call them. He's a studied computer, electronic design. And he basically said, get down to the Texas Workforce, which is our unemployment agency in DFW, and ask for the retraining grant. So I was able to get a grant for self-study to teach myself something called the .NET. And that got me into the world of Microsoft and Windows, and that led me into, application development and all that stuff. And so unfortunately, Paul's no longer with us, but I owe my career in .NET to Paul, who lived in North Richland Hills. And I want to just get that out of the way because he was very important in my career path.
It shows how like one person can really like get someone's life in a certain direction just by like, hey.
Oh, yeah. So early on, I think even prior to Paul, I picked up an issue of the Fort Worth Weekly, and there was an ad, a classified ad for like, golden ear record producer, blah, blah, blah. So I went to the guy's website, and I tried to pitch him on the idea of me doing his website. And he said, the Musicians Union needs you. I'm going to do it myself. But this guy was an amazing guitar player. A guy's named Brady Mosier. And he's a phenomenal guitar player. And through the union connection, I did their database and their website for a while. They got me to play at the Fort Worth Main Street Arts Festival, which I did 11 years in succession playing the Kora.
Wow.
And that was very cool. And then I'm trying to keep the technology thing going with, doing business application development, and AI is making that difficult, and the whole shifting, everything keeps changing,
Yeah, it's especially just in the past 2-3 years too, right? With industrial AI.
There's a big boom.
It's
And then we haven't even mentioned cloud. That's
Yeah.
also a killer.
yeah, the cloud came first, right?
Cloud is
Right.
from way back. Even
Yeah.
AI is like they were developing AI from way back 50, 60 years ago. It was just it's in infant stages. That's it.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, technology and stuff like that.
Now it's just like before it used to just communicate simple things. Now it's you can communicate anything and like receive any information from
Oh.
the database from the internet. That's it.
That's true. And this is another thing we should talk about real quickly. The technology has allowed us to virtualize all of the analog or things that you'd find in the recording studio back in the 70s, 80s, 90s.
Mhm.
You'd have a tape machine, you'd have a mixing board or a mixing console, you'd have what they call outboard gear, you'd have things that did delays, echo, reverb,
Mhm.
various effects. That's all now virtualized in the computer. So I can launch a program like Logic Audio or Pro Tools or something, and I can do the same workflow all digitally, all virtualized in a computer.
I have a question to ask you, which it sparked a question.
Yeah.
You were in a time where, like, I remember, like, when I used to watching TV, when people used to want to become singers, they go to a recording studio, right? It
Yeah.
would just be like this humongous machine in the back, and there'll be glass, and you have to go into the soundproof room.
Exactly.
And that's how you kind of learned doing music, right? That the whole editing process or whatever it is, right? But now, like, when you like you said, it's been digitized. It's been you can now do it on a computer. What was that transition like for you? Like, oh my God, like, you lived through it, right?
Right. I was focused on being a musician. I let someone else do the engineering part. I was focused on my performance. And in fact, we talked a little bit about this, where instead of having multiple people work on a project, they try to push it all into one person, let one person do everything and do kind of a so-so job, as opposed to having a really refined experience by having someone do this and someone else do that, and then you all come together as a team. Back in that, early 80s into the 90s, I was focused just on the music, and someone else was working on recording or documenting that. As I mentioned, that's all virtualized now in a computer. But I'm trying to think how to put this into
Words.
Yeah. Give me just a sec.
I mean, just because now you're saying that 4 or 5 people had to do
Right.
different things, right? And now it just takes one person. But don't you think when you have 4 or 5 people, there's more creativity?
Exactly. And that I want to give you a good example of that, of why collaboration and working with other people is so important. So my Ancestral Voices CD started out in the studio. And this is interesting because I mentioned I was a street performer, so I'd play out in public and various people would come by. I started out selling cassettes, and then the CD came in 1990. But along the way, I met a recording engineer who was visiting Boston on holiday, and he had recorded Joe Jackson.
Oh.
He'd worked as a recording engineer in New York City, and he knew all kinds of people. So I got down to New York. I said, hey, I'm working on this project. And he says, I know so-and-so who can get you in for like $50 an hour from midnight to 6 a.m. in New York City. So I would come in and I would bring my tapes, which were they call 2-inch tapes. That's the recording medium, 2-inch tape. And I'd take my tapes into the studio and we would record stuff and he would mix it together. And then after you record things, then you edit it, right? And you have this mastering phase where you prepare it for manufacturing. So I had a song, let's say the song was arbitrarily 2 minutes long. I get to the mastering phase of it, and the guy says, what if we took this section and then we crossfade it into this other section, but we make the crossfade over like 30 seconds. And we'll have this nice coolness. I said, let's listen to it. I said, yeah, that's it. Go with that. And that is why one of these songs has this extended kind of ebb and flow, which is really cool. I wouldn't have thought of that when I was recording of it. But I wanted to mention real quickly that some of the songs on here started out in a composition phase where I think it was a Commodore 64 computer.
Oh, wow.
And I was sitting I was in a group house. I had like roommates, right? So
Yeah, yeah.
5 people in a big apartment, and we each took turns cooking and took turns cleaning the bathroom. It was this kind of co-op type of thing.
Yeah.
Hippies, It was cool. So, but I'm sitting in the kitchen with a Commodore computer and I think a Casio synthesizer, and I'm like telling the computer, play this note followed by this note, and do this and do that. And then I would take the computer into the studio with the tape. We'd put down a reference track, a time code track, so we know how the tempo of the piece is. And then we would play the tape, and I would do this sound, then wind the tape back, and then add this sound and layer up all this stuff. And then I would go into a recording studio and go, okay, we have all of this synthesizer stuff, but let's add tabla. Then I'd get a guy to play tabla.
So you had to get someone physically to play.
Yeah. So then I got another guy to play Bansuri flute on one of the songs.
Oh wow. Okay.
And
so
then,
it sounds like a really long process just for
it
one
is.
song.
It is. So then at one point, the guy who owned one of the studios said, "It's a great song, but there's no lead voice. Let me play guitar. I'll give you a guitar solo. That'll be the lead voice of the incident." So I said, "Okay, let's do that." So he remember, this is tape, so you don't have unlimited tracks. There's only 24 tracks, 24-track 2-inch tape. So we put the guitar on. Then I went to another studio, and I hired the guy to play flute, the Bansuri flute. And the engineer says, "You have no more tracks available. You have to erase something. What do you want to erase?" I'm like, "Oh, the guitar is not so happening." We record the tape, and they have a process where you call punch in and punch out. You punch in to enable recording, punch out to disable. So we put on the guitar track, we put the flute. The engineer punched it out, leaving what was there previously, which was a guitar solo. So if you listen to the Dragonfly Dream, the last 15 seconds, you'll hear one guitar note. That's the $125, the most expensive note on the CD. So the flute solo ends, and you hear one note on the guitar. You'll hear it on the CD. It's pretty amazing.
It's interesting.
So where can you get the CD?
You can get it from me.
Oh, yeah. We have to directly contact you or get it from the internet somewhere.
You get it directly from me. I send it in the mail, or I can.
Do you also have this on YouTube? Like, have you uploaded it on YouTube?
Yes, you can stream this. It's on Pandora. It's on Spotify. It's on Tidal. It's on Kobos. I don't see anything from that. I'd rather you buy the CD. But
it gets all because Spotify takes.
Well, Spotify doesn't pay artists or anything. But the title track, Island Journey, a friend of mine did a music video, and we had the videotape prepared for broadcast. It was on VH1 for 1 month.
Okay.
And I gave them the master tape to VH1 instead of a copy, which was a mistake, and they lost the tape, so it's gone. But it lives on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube.
Okay.
Island Journey.
Island Journey.
Yeah.
And you sound like you've really like you've done a lot of stuff.
I've done a lot of stuff. Yeah.
I've done a lot of stuff, especially for the music. Just it's so intriguing and crazy that you had to incorporate so many people to create like specific tracks, like or songs, right? And you had to have so many minds say, "Hey, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that?" Blah blah blah. I remember like there was a recording that the people who make music, when they go to recording, so it's just one person in front of this computer, and he's like click, 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 cutting it out, putting the song back and forth, and he's like this one-man army, and it's his creative mind and the artist. That's what it is. And like when you say stuff like, "Oh, I was talking to X, Y, and Z, and there's add this, maybe add that." Okay, I have to put. Oh, now I have to take one off, and now I have to put this on because there was limitations. There was technology.
There was limitations. Exactly.
Technology limitations. So you had to get it perfect. Over here, if you can go again and again and again, and you can add multiple different things, right? And
that's the good about what technology did for a music artist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
that's a good thing.
It's a good thing if you're an independent music artist and you know like how to use the technology.
This is an important point you bring up. So all of the stuff is virtualized.
Yeah.
All the stuff we've talked about, you can do inside a computer.
Yeah.
You can do a laptop and headphones, and you're ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
But having that foundation of having done it old school, having the foundation of actually studying music, puts you in another league. You know, it's also like people, rave about Photoshop, how amazing all these digital graphic tools are. But if the power went out, if the network went away, if your Photoshop is tethered to a subscription model and you've lost internet and you can't launch your tools, a good artist could still pick up a piece of paper and charcoal and draw something that would touch your heart. Yeah. So if someone can do that, right? If someone can just sit and play the piano and sing and you go, oh, that's amazing. When you give them the digital tools, it's like AI. It's going to be augmented reality versus a replacement for something that someone maybe has an idea but doesn't really have the foundation.
Yeah.
You know?
Because there's a lot of like YouTube singers and artists that just come out of nowhere because they do that and they get very popular. Like a lot of people.
And that's why I think nowadays it's more dumbed down, because like people even don't experience or whatever. He went to Gambia, he went to Cameroon and Mali, right? People don't go there and experience that, and carry it and put it in the song. So it's like dumbed down.
There's no story behind it.
Yeah. That's the same thing with AI. It doesn't try to tell a story. It's just like dumbed down so that people understand and gets a beat. That's it.
And
that's not what music is. Like if you look at him, he went to different nation, experienced the culture, took that culture and put it in the CD, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
right.
that's
But also, someone like yourself, you were born in Nigeria, you've traveled to Nepal, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
You've been around, right? As opposed to someone who's just been in Texas and hasn't gone, even if they haven't gone to New York or West Coast.
Surprisingly, there's a lot of people like that here, but yeah.
Yeah, right. So, again, for a young person, if they have a chance, my niece went to Japan for a couple weeks.
I've been wanting to go to Japan.
It's amazing.
The culture there is like crazy.
That's on my bucket list, just to go to Japan.
Japan is nice.
Since I'm a big foodie, I would love to go there and just experience, Singapore, Japan, Indonesia.
Bali is nice.
Bali is nice.
Bali is definitely
Indonesia,
nice.
Bali is good.
I recommend you go to Bali. Experience Bali.
Okay, let's go.
$1 is like, I think when I went there was like 13,000 or 14,000 currency. But but it's also, the tourist area is very modernized, it's very westernized. But the local areas,
that's it.
It's great. And the mountains, the islands are.
They have kept their tradition.
Yes.
They have preserved their tradition.
And Bali is the only Hindu small island, right? Because the country Indonesia is Muslim.
99%.
So it's 99% Muslim, but that little island is Hindu, and they have preserved it. It's just amazing how they've done it, what they've done.
And if you're going to travel, the last thing you want to do is stay in a westernized hotel. You want to be you want to experience what it is, the culture. That's what makes it vibrant.
Yeah, exactly. For you.
For my question to you, like
please.
You wanted to learn the Kora, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to do something similar, if I wanted to go into Indonesia or Japan and learn their traditional instrument, or even in Nepal, I can do it because I am from Nepal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how did you contact people over there? So
good point.
And you came across those people and you went there, live with the family. So if a person wants to do that, how can they do, and how did you do it?
All right, back in the early 80s, when I first got my Kora from my teachers, they were traveling, giving concerts. So they would just come visit. You just get here, show up with your backpack and your sandals and your water bottle, and that's it. We'll take care of everything else.
How did you contact them saying, hey, I'm coming, or you just showed up there one day?
I just literally showed up. Hey, look, come on. If someone showed up at your parents' house, they would make accommodations.
I don't know about nowadays.
Not nowadays, but
nowadays.
Back then.
Back then, yeah. I mean, maybe. I guess so. Back then was, I guess it was a simpler time, right? It was like, there was more empathy going around at that point in time. I
All
understand.
right, let's say like in Africa,
Yeah.
they expect people that are traveling to come and not stay for a night, but hey, you're going to come for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe after a while, they're going to say, when are you leaving? It's nice to see you. It's time for you to move on. But they should actually have a word in the local language for what they call a stranger, someone who's visiting.
Uh-huh.
And typically, especially if it's another musician, they come, they bring their songs, and you get to ask them, how are the people from the other village or what's happening over there? Or maybe they've just come from Europe. How was Europe? I've never been outside of my country. What's it like over there? One of my musician mentors got a chance to travel to London, and he came back, and it was very interesting. He talked about water coming out of a tap. They have hot water and cold water coming out of a faucet. Never seen it before. So it was like, yeah, it's interesting. But now we have WhatsApp, we have video calls, and the world's kind of flattened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think in the modern day, what he did past, what we can do is contact someone from another country through this, like social media,
Exactly.
and maybe
become
talk
a
with
friend.
them, become a friend, and then and if they want to come to US, call them to US, and if you want to go there, just be like a pen pal,
Yeah.
and
Something like
travel,
that.
something like that. So that's how you experience the culture. Or otherwise, as you said, we go and we stay in this Western hotel. We are not experiencing anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're not experiencing the
No.
culture.
Definitely not. With Africa and musicians, I think it's a lot easier. And I would imagine if you were able to, in the visual arts, if you found a painter in France and say, hey, I want to come study with you, what would it cost? And would you have a place I could crash? You got to be flexible. You got to be willing to sleep on the floor or sleep on the sofa if you're here in the West. But if you make the effort to travel and you show a sensitivity to their culture, they'll definitely make it happen for you. You got to come in and, a couple greetings, and then they start build on that. Oh, you like our food. Oh, you like our music. I played at a recent fundraiser for a philanthropic entity here in Dallas called Gift of Joy. They help raise money to help education back in West Africa. And I was speaking to one of the people that were volunteering for the event, and I started talking about this music and naming various artists. She's like, you're reminding me of music I listened to when I was a child. How do you know about the music of my people? And I died. It's good. It's very nice.
Yeah, it's very. I guess it feels even better when you see someone from like the culture and they see someone like you playing it and doing it the way you do and just being so good at it. And then it makes them proud, right? It's like, oh wow, it's not only there, like people are interested in my music, right? It's
definitely.
inclusive, right? They feel
Definitely.
And I think one of the good things about the internet has done that, has like allowed culture to kind of like be more out there in the open, and I think that's good. I think like there's so many artists, like if YouTube was there back in the day and they could upload their music, they could upload the stuff like if from the 80s and 90s, I think we would have had so many artists that no one would have heard of, because back then you just had limited opportunity to come on in front of like to come in front of like the TV or the radio, because that's how it was, right? You had to, for them it's all about ratings and what brings in the most views or whatever it is, like the way how they do it back in the day. But now I feel like YouTube, in a way, and it's only for YouTube, is it's given people creative freedom and the ability to put out what they want without anybody else telling them what to do. You know what I mean? So that's what I believe. Like technology in certain aspects has done it better, but there's pros and cons.
Right, but this is what Africa needs, is high-speed internet, so that all those YouTube tutorials that we take for granted, whether we want to learn to cook or learn to code or learn about something, the rest, not necessarily all of the world, has access the way we do. You know, so I would love for my friends in Africa to be able to go on YouTube and have high-speed connectivity so that they could watch a tutorial about mixing or about how to use a microphone or whatever it may be. Because that possibly could be something that I will do in the coming years. I might go teach in Africa, you know?
Yeah.
And it would be specifically about music technology. Maybe a bit of programming. I mean,
it could
why
be
not?
anything just to help
Could be
them.
anything, yeah.
I
And
mean,
it would also get me out of America.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I feel like when you dwell into different cultures, right? It opens you think a different way, I feel.
Mhm.
I feel like the thought process of what you should do in life or where you go want to like showcase a certain skill set to certain people or share whatever you have with them.
Exactly.
It's different when you actually experience different cultures. That's what I've noticed. People who have never like left even Texas or even the United States of America to go and travel different countries. You know, it's that bubble, right? Because you're always told we're the best country in the world, or you're doing, you know, we have the best stuff. But if they're only eating burgers and fries and they've never had, let's say, a chicken tikka masala, or they've never had
fresh fish straight out of the ocean.
yeah, exactly. Or I don't know.
Come on.
What other foods are there?
Well, look,
in Japan?
you go to the market in the morning, and there's all the produce. Instead of this concept of farm to table and Whole Foods and fancy overpriced markets, when you're in Africa or in any kind of rural setting, and you go to the local market, what's there came probably from the farm that day or within a day or two. For example, this is a nice, funny story. I was with a friend in Africa, and we went to the market. This is like the peak of mango season, probably April, June, or July. And by the way, the mangoes in West Africa are similar flavor of what you would get in India.
Yeah,
The little yellow ones.
yeah.
Very good.
Very, very.
So we go to the market, and like for $1 or something, I get like 2 pounds or whatever, a big bag of mangoes. We go back to my friend's house, we wash them, we put them in the refrigerator, and he says, "I've got this special treat. You know, I know you white people like this." And he pulls out a can of fruit cocktail. You know, the fruit in like some sort of sugary syrup.
Yeah.
And I said, "God, no. Give that to the little kids. We've got the good stuff. We have fresh mango straight from the farm. I'm not going to touch that stuff. That's poison."
Yeah. It's insane, like how like when you have like fresh food or food that's not
prepared, not
tainted
tainted by chemicals or processing.
Yeah, one of your like songs from your CD, like your verse.
It's hard to say. I can't.
You can't. But like you know, when you play that, what was a learning process for you to learn this? Because it seems like it's like 2 guitar strings, right, parallel to each other.
Exactly.
Right. So how long did it take you to like learn this?
I got my first Kora in 79, 80. I think when I graduated from college, 80. I taught myself a little bits and pieces, but when I got to Africa, that really accelerated my experience. Yeah.
Is there like, you know how when you play guitar it says like A, B, C, like chords and stuff like that? Is there something very similar to the Kora? Like, hey, this strings do this, or
not really.
So you just play with the flow?
Play with the flow, but you'd ask someone you were studying with, how's this song go? And they would just play. You'd be like, slow down. They're like, I don't have a concept of slowing that. I just do it. And you have to try to figure it out. And then I would use technology to slow it down. You know, like record, when you play it on the wrong speed, it slows down.
Yeah.
I do the similar thing with a cassette. Change the very speed on the cassette to slow it down. Or I would used the digital technology to take it and change the sampling rate so it would play slower. And so I was using digital tools even in the mid 80s to change the pitch and various things to transcribe. So a lot of transcription and just having played the instrument so much that the fingers really were connected to the instrument. Like as I was describing, someone draws, they're just their mind is just connected to their hands, connected to the canvas. So
if let's say you create a song with your Kora, can it be replicated by somebody else who can play the Kora?
yes.
Okay. Like you know how like when you play the guitar you have that musical notes and stuff like that. Does the Kora have something similar to that?
Very similar, yeah. But the beauty of it is whoever plays whatever I'm teaching, it's going to have their own vibe. A little micro nuance, timing, how they play. It'll be their own performance. So if you heard a cover band play Ozzy, you're going to go, yeah, that's an Ozzy song, but it's something slightly different.
Yeah.
So that happens. It's not a bad thing. It's good to be unique.
Yeah. I mean, this instrument itself is unique. It's covered in cow skin.
No, lots of instrument like those in the days that have history is made from the hide of like cows and other. Yeah. So, how long does the history of this instrument go? Because you said fishing hooks, fishing lines. Because
well, I think the first recorded reference to the instrument is by a guy who was a Scottish explorer in West Africa named Mungo Park. Mungo, M-U-N-G-O, Mungo Park. And I think it had fewer strings, and the strings were probably made of like antelope. And
okay.
It's slightly different. This is kind of a modern instrument.
Modern version.
And part of the thing about Kora is it's the music that accompanies the narration of an epic story or a genealogy. Genealogy is like a family history. So you'd have your Kora musician come not just entertain you, but also give you a little bit of education, especially if you had the family gathered around the musician and he's singing about, you know, who was your grandfather, who was your great-grandfather, where they came from, why are they important, you know, his family history kind of thing. I don't think there's any pop music that has that kind of attribute, you know, that they're singing about historical stuff of historical significance.
I think it's more about feeling, right? Pop music is more like what you're feeling in that moment.
They have their own stuff, like what they're trying to write about.
I feel like this is more like a journey.
Yeah.
It sounds more like, you know, the instrument plays like a wanderer walking through like the jungle or from one place to another. It
and in the middle, I stumble upon a tiger. That kind of stuff. Then a river and two.
No, but it's like also scenic too. I think it has a lot to do with the instrument. To me, what I'm listening to right now is, it's not about like, oh, what I should be feeling. It's about what I should be visualizing. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what I feel like. You know, it's more of a, I'm visualizing a journey through, let's say, I don't know, the woods or the beach, or you know, or just maybe if you're going down like Yosemite Park and you're following that.
Yeah, same like this. If you have listened to Eddie Vedder and the movie in which he composed the whole songs of the movie, it feels just like that. He writes a song about wolf, and it's just like the wolf sound, you know, and that you picturize in your head.
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff. I think lots of musicians did this. Eddie Vedder, you know.
No, I don't know.
Pearl Jam.
Oh yeah.
So
I know Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam lead singer Eddie Vedder.
I like their songs, but I don't know the guy.
So he has done a lot of these kind of stuff, albums that he created. So the guy just follows the journey, and the music is like similar to his journey. So you said you compose music with basuri and tabla. Those are from Indian culture. Yes. So did it jam good? And basically, what do they do in the African culture? Like, what do you guys jam with? The kora and drums.
Different kinds of drums.
Different kind of drums.
Usually, there's someone singing. You know. typically they get into like a groove, and then someone sing. You know, like if I go to play at a wedding,
Mm.
and I'm going to be singing all kinds of praises about my patron
Mm.
Okay.
in the family, and the family, and just if I see somebody in the audience, I'm going to start singing about them.
Mm-mm. It's kind of like
Mariama's here, and beautiful Mariama and her great family and her father and this and that.
it's like the instrument can
Crazy
also,
to see.
yeah. So the instrument itself can also give like a background music to just you even
Yeah.
talking. Like it was going so
Well,
well
yeah,
when you were
yeah, like-
talking.
Like
Yeah.
if Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
This is what Bob Dylan.
Yeah,
like,
he
he
used
was
to, yeah.
African.
Yeah. Because we could just be talking right now and
Yeah,
saying whatever,
storytelling.
and then the music would just
Yeah, exactly.
Give
He
it
could
like
be
a
talking,
nice-
he could just be playing, and it would go with it.
it's literally is going with it, but it's very like new, like it's very fresh,
Yeah. Because he just played it.
like imagine like I'm telling a story,
Yeah.
like I was walking through the woods one day and I stumbled upon a person, and it's the music in the background is giving it a little bit more emotion and more vibe to it.
Yeah. So, before we go to the closing,
Yeah.
so we would give you some time to play, and if you can narrate anything, just try to narrate it.
I'm not that good at narrating, dude.
Or you can do it too.
Or why don't you do
yeah,
something
right.
off the top of your head?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. At the name of the podcast is
News, nonsense, and more.
News, Nonsense, and More.
Yeah.
And
But do you want to play like a little thing and say, like, I don't know, if you had to perform, if you had to give like a 1 minute performance for people who are going to listen to this?
no, I would just mention that what you hear here is only the tip of the iceberg of my musical interest.
Uh-huh.
I could go listen to some Pearl Jam later. With some Black Hole Sun, right?
Yeah.
Stone Temple.
Yeah.
Stone Temple Pilots, yeah.
But no, it's I feel like we need to bring him on when we do an episode of just
Yeah.
like having a storytelling session, and you just play in the back, and we're just telling that story to give that story a little bit more emotion and more vibe to it. I feel like that's what this
Yeah.
instrument can do, and this is my first time listening to it too.
And you never knew from us talking at the gym that.
Oh, not at all. Not
and
at
that's
all.
like the time you mentioned that you were born in Nigeria.
Yeah.
That just caught me off because I thought you were from Nepal. What is this born in Nigeria?
My dad was there for like 25 years.
That's
somewhere.
amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know.
It's a very unique place. The weather is nice. It's always tropical. I mean, where in Nigeria where I was, it was always tropical. But it was weird because when I was growing up there, I always wanted to see snow. I was
Really?
like, yeah, I
hate
always wanted.
snow. God, no. Hell no.
then,
no.
then I came to New York after 15 years of
Oh,
New York.
yeah.
I'm like, no snow. I don't want snow anymore.
That's when everyone was bugging me in Africa. I want to go to America. I want to go to America. I want to go to America. I was like, you don't want to go to America. It's cold.
It's cold.
It is this constant financial pressure to perform. It's not chill. It's not chill as in relaxed. It's chill like it's cold. It's miserable. You don't wanna-
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fun the first time I saw snow, but then I saw the snows just stay there and didn't go away.
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
that was kind of eye opening. But
Yeah. So anyway, as far as me as a person, super broad interest. I just finished doing a remix for a remix contest. I actually had an old track of Madonna,
oh, wow.
and I was reimagining what it would do like, what it would sound like with different kinds of drums and different kinds of synthesizers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get into composing music for film and TV, and my
nice.
connection in California wants me to record with the Kora and use that as an element in the composition.
Okay.
And so hopefully if that turns into a revenue stream, then no more coding. No more coding.
No more coding.
Please
That's
save me.
There's a lot of like artists even in the Nepalese community, right?
Yeah.
Who if they watch this and they ask me, I'll definitely like connect you with them too.
Oh, excellent.
Because because it is a unique instrument, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think I think music is something, even if
Wow.
you're singing Nepali but you're using a Kora, I think
Right.
that can also bring a lot of like fusion
Yeah,
to
very
the
much
music.
so.
You know what I
Music
mean?
is a universal language.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So yeah,
So I think overall, like just being able to hit. I mean, like for me, man, I was even when we were talking, he was playing. It just sounded like we're having it was a very like peaceful, fun vibe going on. You know,
Right.
yeah, that's you know,
So if you play Kora in the background, it's just like peaceful, and you
Yeah,
just have
peaceful.
conversation.
yeah.
And
This is what we need.
we need to. You know what we need to do? We need to bring the girls here
yeah,
and have David like sit in the back and just play it. And when they're talking about their like teas and their stories and how their guys are like cheat on them, just make it sound more peaceful.
but anyways, even in Nepal nowadays, they are really preserving their culture, and
It's
Yeah.
a
important.
lot of
Yeah.
people are like playing older instrument like basuri and
Yeah, yeah.
tabla
Mhm.
and different. And there are many bands nowadays,
Yeah,
many bands like Kutumba and all,
Uh-huh.
and they have like
Yeah.
uplifted the Nepalese traditions and Nepalese songs, and that's really good.
No,
So if they find you, maybe
yeah, I mean, like even like since you are more
Mhm.
proactive with instruments and music and just different kinds of music. I mean, I think there's a lot of it. It opens up a lot of like opportunity for even Nepalese who are in the DFW area to connect with you, and maybe if they're artists or if they play the older flutes or I don't know
they,
I don't know the one thing with the two strings. There was like I forgot what it was. It was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
really
yeah.
small and
Yeah,
it's
I know.
like
I
it's
know
like,
what you're talking about.
I don't know what it's
Even
called.
I forgot the name.
Yeah, but that's a
It's similar
really,
to this though. It's similar
Right.
to this.
Wow.
yeah, it's really
It's
really
not
cool.
sitar. It's something they call. It's like this. Then the person plays.
Yeah.
It's really used nowadays
Yeah,
in Nepalese
it was
music.
I heard this one song where they just did like that instrument was the vocal,
Oh,
but it
okay,
wasn't
yeah.
not
Yeah,
really
yeah,
the
I
person
gotcha.
singing, but it replaced the person singing by that instrument, and it sounded really really nice.
Cool.
Yeah, so I think like anybody that's watching wants to get in touch with David and want to like share
Sarangi.
Sarangi, yeah.
Sarangi.
Sarangi.
Yeah, you should take a look at it.
Right,
But
right.
anybody who's watching this episode and wants to connect with David and wants to share the musical experience or just be able to sit down and create music together, I think that in its sense I think it's fun. It'll be a fun session and everything.
Find me through social media.
Yeah, definitely. His social is going to be in the bottom, right?
Yeah.
We have it on there. His Instagram,
Yeah.
even your YouTube channel.
There's a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And I've got lots of videos of me playing that I've not posted yet. So I
Mhm,
need
mhm.
to spend some time learning DaVinci Resolve, getting my chops together,
Uh-huh.
and then getting that posted up on YouTube and work the algorithm.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
The algorithm.
Yeah.
So
know all
you
about
started
that.
using DaVinci Resolve?
Yeah.
too. Me too. Same time.
Yeah.
Like 2 months
it's
ago, I
a-
started using it.
amazing-
Mm.
A lot of amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
stuff to
social
do there.
media is another beast in its all.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But
But one thing I let you know that I would like to see younger people, especially their parents came here to America
uh-huh.
or Europe, and now they have a teenager or a college age child that's going to take media studies or digital storytelling tools, learning DaVinci or
Yeah.
Adobe Premiere or whatever.
Yeah.
Then send them back to Nepal or wherever,
Mhm,
Nigeria or wherever,
mhm.
and then spend a couple weeks speaking with the elders, speaking with the grandfather and grandma,
Mhm.
tell us, and recording and making a story or a video about what was life back when they were, a teenager.
Mhm,
So we don't lose the culture
mhm.
because it will disappear, and we'll never know the stories and things that happened back in the day.
Yeah, I think.
So I think it's a very important thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not about practicing; it's about being able to talk about it.
So, I mean, if you studied how to video edit here, go back and spend the summer in your country, Nepal or wherever,
Mm-hmm.
with your phone and record footage that you can come back, cut it up, and then stick it up on YouTube so that the community, the family,
Mm-hmm.
can learn and share experiences. And
Mm.
Yeah. I think lots of young people, if they do that, that would be really good to preserve the
Mm.
really good aspect of our culture.
And that can also teach and mentor their
Yeah.
peers that don't have the opportunity to come to America or Europe to study in a college.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, so pass on the knowledge, share the knowledge. Everyone
Can grow together, right?
Yeah, right. A rising tide lifts all ships, right?
Yep. That's true.
So thank you, Sean
Yeah.
and Mike
Yeah.
Mike.
for inviting me to the podcast.
Hey, man. I guess I'll see you at the gym tomorrow, but
Right? Yeah, let's hope so.
yeah.
I missed tonight. I could have gone tonight.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, same
Same
here.
thing. Same thing.
Same
over
here. But I want to thank you for coming in and
My
playing
pleasure. My
playing the Kora. I
Thank
think it's an experience that we haven't had on.
It was a
on this
totally
channel.
different experience today, and
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
I'm thinking about something else, like going to home and listening music the way he told, like a story,
yeah.
Mm,
and trying to rediscover my culture. Like, am I forgetting my culture little by
Yeah.
little?
yeah,
Try to rediscover it.
exactly.
And it's not just for you guys. It's
For
everybody.
everyone.
Yeah.
your extended family.
Yeah.
If you don't have kids, your friend has a son and daughter,
Yeah.
and it's important to preserve
Yeah.
you know,
Absolutely.
your history and culture.
Yeah. I mean, if you could go in Africa and learn their culture and play
Mhm.
their instrument, I think it's
And that's little
That's-
we can do of our
yeah.
own.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you're from the same culture, I think
Cultural survival.
that's true. That's
And even like the knowledge we share between each other, it's so important in like developing ourselves,
Yeah.
as a person. As
not
a
even
human.
that. Like I think the music itself, like it can
Yeah.
evolve because multiple different minds come together and you can make a completely distinctive tune that no one's ever heard about just
Right.
because you're bringing multiple different cultures together
Yeah,
in the music, and the music will be completely different. That's how you create new genres or new like flows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Actually, that's how music was created, and that's how
Mhm.
blues and jazz and all was
right.
created. Actually,
Yeah.
But it's
Exactly.
slowly running away because of what he told AI. It's
Yeah.
We
So
need,
no
we
new
need,
mu-
we need innovation,
yeah.
not the same thing over and over. We
So
need something
what I
new.
heard last week in a podcast was AI cannot take over human beings because it needs us. It will just be like an assistant that assists
Mm.
us.
Mhm.
But the creative side and like a scientific theory has to be discovered, and AI cannot disprove Einstein. A person has to disprove Einstein, and he has to create. But the AI can help him a lot. That's
Yeah.
the thing. What they were talking about. So
Mm.
similar with the music too, like a new music are created every time because cultures are emerging, right?
Mm.
Nowadays, like the person who's going to play in the Super Bowl, he's Dominican, right?
What are you talking about? What's his name? Is he? I think he's Puerto Rican.
Puerto
Big,
Rican.
like Bad Bunny.
Bad
Yeah,
Bunny,
yeah.
right? So
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the infusion of music coming from other culture, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
So that's what it is.
It's only makes it sound good.
Yeah.
Make some booty shake in the club. That's what he likes to do. It's different. But
Yeah.
thanks for coming, David.
My
Like,
pleasure.
I really,
Thank
really,
you for your interest. Yeah.
I really enjoyed you playing the
yeah.
Kora. And
Cool,
if
man.
anybody wants to see what it looks like, yeah, that's what it looks like,
It's a full
guys.
version of it.
It is a very big. It looks like a really, really big guitar, big fat guitar. But overall,
So
Honestly.
as Sushant goes to our closing, can you
Oh,
play
yeah.
a little bit smoothing sound?
yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that
do
way
your
the
thing.
this closing will sound cool. Right. So guys, I want to say thank you for everybody that's watched this episode. I want to say thank you for supporting us, subscribing to our channel. Remember, 80% of you are not subscribed. Only the 20% are subscribed. So we do definitely need your help to grow this channel. We appreciate all your love. We appreciate all your views. And please definitely give a follow to our socials, David's socials, his YouTube channel, our YouTube channel, and our socials as well. With that being said, thank you very much.
Cut.